Hey guys, Ryan here from Indy Wrestling School. And do you need a website for your wrestling company in 2021? We're going to talk about it coming up. Hey guys, thanks for checking out this video. If you're new here, please consider subscribing below. We put out new videos every single Thursday for 3 Minute Thursday, although it always goes way over 3 minutes. So one thing I've been wanting to talk about for a while is the necessity for having a website in 2021 and beyond. It seems like more and more companies are just kind of using social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those kind of different sites to really house all the information for their website. And even some of those social media sites actually let you sell tickets through there. I personally have never sold tickets through social media. I always sell it directly to my website, and I'll tell you exactly why. The reason I don't use any of the social media sites is because very early on, when they first started allowing merchandise and stuff like that to be sold through social media, it was very hard to keep track of what was sold and who it was sold to. You really had to go a couple layers deep to figure everything out. So I've always stuck with PayPal, and that's what I've used primarily for any advanced tickets. When people buy it at the door, they can use a little card swipe, or they can just pay in cash. But when I'm selling in advance, I've always used PayPal, and PayPal makes it real easy for people to create buttons and stuff like that, and you can customize it, and you can select quantities of how many tickets you want, the type of ticket, if you want general admission, a ringside seat, if you're doing different prices for kids. You have all those different options. And this is not sponsored in any way by PayPal or anything like that. So before I ever start anything with a website, that's the first step I do, is create a PayPal account, and then I create the buttons that I'm gonna need. The next thing I'll do is create a website, and I've done a number of different websites over the years. If you're just starting out and you want something free, I would recommend Wix, Wix.com. They have a pretty good, easy to navigate builder. The problem I have with their platform is they kind of let you do everything you want to do. And I know that sounds like a good thing, but when you start moving stuff all over the page and you can put stuff anywhere you want it to, at first you're doing stuff nicely and neatly, and once you're all done with everything, you're gonna stand back and look at it and it's just gonna look like a huge mess. At least if you're me. Because every time I go to do that, I kind of create more of a mess and more of a headache for myself, and it never comes out looking right. But Wix is a good option if you're looking for something cheap because it's free. They do have paid options and stuff like that, but I've always used the free version. The other thing you're going to need to do is buy a domain name. If you're using something like Wix, they'll actually have your URL, the way you would hit the website like google.com, is going to be like something like whatever the name of your company is, prowrestlingcompany.wixsite.com/prowrestlingcompany. So it's a very long URL. You want to get it as short as possible. You want, myprowrestlingcompany.com, indywrestlingschool.com, just something easy that somebody can navigate to. And what you'll do is you'll actually, whoever you buy the URL from, I always use GoDaddy. That's the site I've always used since I've been doing stuff online since, I want to say, like 2003. And their tech support is really good. Again, not sponsored or anything like that, but I've always used them for everything. I've never had an issue. So I'll usually, if I'm having any trouble or anything like that, I can't navigate the pages, I can call them up and say, hey, I need you to forward this URL, indywrestlingschool.com, to my Wix site. Here's the address, and they'll take care of it, no problem. So in the last couple years, I've actually been using WordPress as sort of the back end for my websites. So WordPress has like themes and stuff like that. Once again, not sponsored. They have themes and stuff like that, and you can kind of create multiple layers. And this is good for the company that I'm working with now, because there's a really rich history there. So I have like title histories, I have event histories, archives, pages for photos. So there's multiple pages. It's not just a landing page where you can buy tickets. If you're doing something like that, there's plenty of free options out there. But if you're looking for a more robust website that has a lot of detailed information, and I don't just do that for the fans, admittedly. I do that for my own records. I like to have a place where I can go to and be able to hit this website, and I can look up, okay, what event was this match, and I can find it. So I do that for the website, for the company I'm running right now. I also do it for a lot of the stuff with my friends and I when we were doing backyard shows years ago, just to keep a record of everything we did. I have a website that's password protected. Nobody can get to it, with the exception of the couple friends that that have access to it. And what I'll do with that site is I'll usually update it maybe the beginning of the year, maybe the middle of the year, and I'll schedule, 5 to 10 posts that'll go out, once, twice a month, something like that, and then I can kind of forget about it for, a year or so. And I use WordPress for that, and I highly recommend WordPress. It's super intuitive, it's super easy to learn. Out of all the different companies I've used over the years, Homestead.com and all these like now antiquated website designers, WordPress is easily my favorite, so I would recommend that to everybody out there. Now, the other thing you might want to think about is what content do you want to put out there on your website. Like I said, I have title histories, I have archives, which is a listing of all the different shows. I have the main roster page, and more importantly than any of it is where you can buy tickets, when our next show is, the poster for the next show. That's on the landing page, that's in our shop. And if you're selling stuff like DVDs and stuff like that, again, you can sell those through PayPal. You can create a drop down and all that, and you can select different DVDs that they can purchase if you're still doing stuff like that. So there's a lot of different options out there. And the most important thing is when you're doing any of this stuff, do your research. Find what's going to work out best for you, what's going to be the smartest thing to do. You don't want to just go out there and throw money at it. If you want to go out there and hire a website builder for $300, $400, you're more than welcome to do that. But in the end, if you could spend a little bit of time, if you're not in a rush and you can spend, a week or two creating this website, I would say go for it. I think it's much better to learn the ins and outs of that stuff. Plus, then you are the guy who can go out there and update it. You don't have to pay somebody to constantly update it or train you how to update it. You'll know all the ins and outs of the site, and you'll be able to do everything yourself from then on, and you're kind of independent. And that's what the name of the game is, right? It's independent wrestling. So that's all for this video. If you guys like this one, please beat the shit out of the like button, and we'll see you next week for 3 Minute Thursday.